What if you have a chord progression using a chord name that is not derived from a note in your scale, but you think it might fit? For example, an E5 to an A5 chord progression. You can just try the scale. You might get lucky and it'll work. However, another way you can look at it is by comparing the other notes in the chord. For example, our scale consists of E, F sharp, G sharp, B, C sharp. There is not an A note in the E major pentatonic scale. However, when we look at the A5 power chord, we see that it uses the notes A on the 5th string open and E on the 4th string 2nd fret. Well, there is a note that is in common with the scale. So we can try it and see if the scale works. In this case, it does. You'll find when using power chords, rather than full chords such as majors and minors, that you can use several scales. However, the bigger the chord gets, the less options you have. The E5 to A5 chord progression gives us an interesting option by allowing us to use both the minor pentatonic and major pentatonic scales. Another chord that would be allowed in combining these scales would be the B5 chord. As in E5 to B5 chord progression. Since B5 is derived from both the E pentatonic major and minor scales, you can use either scale or even both to solo over an E5 to B5 chord progression. Another interchangeable chord progression in the key of E would be E5, A5, and B5. As we know, all three chords can be played behind the minor pentatonic or major pentatonic. Minor, major. Minor, major. And again, you could even swap back and forth between the major and minor scales for some interesting and contrasting lead work.